Hello, Savannah, and welcome to another edition of Candidly Kesha. I'm excited to be with you yet again on this fateful Monday. Listen, I have with me two of the intrepid voice activists in our community, Julius Hall, king of ground game, winning all campaigns, and then the voice behind For Us, By Us with Alderwoman Alicia Miller Blakely, Mr. Arnie Crony. Listen. Oftentimes we just hear you and we never see you. So it's a treat for me to bring your face and your voice tonight to Candidly Kesha Facebook Live. Guys, I just want to talk shop with you a little bit. You two, when I think about people who really have their finger on the pulse of what's going on in our community, when I think about people who are unapologetically real, who say what needs to be said, who say what others are thinking and are afraid to say. But most importantly, and more importantly to me, I want to say to you, thank you, because you all speak up, speak out, and speak up for us. And I often say in this work, it's a lonely place to be. You don't have real friends. You don't have genuine people who are in your lives at this level of exposure. So it's really difficult to, one, find people who you can trust, and two, find people who are just real sounding boards who won't tell you what you want to hear, but really and truly tell you what you need to hear. And I'm not looking forward to a conversation me and Mr. Hall have to have. He said to me behind the scenes, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. What does that mean, Mr. Hall? We gotta talk.
It just means that we'll have lunch and we're going to figure out. We're going to have lunch and we're going to figure out what how we march forward in, not at City Hall, but in Chatham County. And so we'll talk. We need to be
in
getting
Chatham County.
In Chatham County. Your feed is real bad because you're freezing.
Uh-oh.
You back down.
Okay. It's weird because I hear you just fine. Let's see. It says if I go out again, listen, let's just get to, it's been a busy week here in Savannah. We are getting ready to wrap up 2020 and we are embarking upon 2022. Let me tell you, what I don't want people to say is, I'll be glad when 2021 is over. Because guess what? Somebody somewhere said, I'll be glad when 2020 is over and we got 2021. Somebody when 2019 is over and we got 2020. So let's just chill. Let's just be at peace. Let's just embrace time as she arrives and as she comes. And we'll just deal with her as she appears, right? We just want to just be still amidst this COVID. Listen, and now we are joined by the Dr. Amir Jamal Toure. I was just given to my life who speak up, speak out, stand up, and stick up for us. Oftentimes I say, who advocate for the advocates? Who is the activist for the activists? And you all are. And we want to just say thank you so much. And this is not easy work. I found myself in this political world through a set of circumstances that essentially forced me out of my job that I love so very much and forced me out of my career. There is a saying that goes, sometimes God had to break you. And so I want to encourage somebody today to say, you might be in a place where you never thought you would be. You may be in a place where you don't think you belong and you find it hard to fit in. I want to encourage you by saying, trust the process. And that's what we're doing here today. We're trusting the process. So we are rounding up 2021. We are rounding out 2021. You guys have been seen since January of 2021. Let's talk about some of the highlights that have happened, some of the things that's going on now, and let's just hear your perspective in terms of what you have seen and your thoughts on our service on council here in the city of Savannah.
Well,
Who wants to take a stab at it first?
I'll go first. Um, you know, 2020 and 21 have been some very fast years. Everything is moving at not a snail's pace, at a speeding train. Um, I think that the job that you all are doing by bringing awareness to the people is what we sent you all there to do. And you all are doing an impeccable job at it. Um, but, people, they think that it's all fluff with you all and that you all are not serious and that all y'all want to do is cry and complain. But if you look at it and people break it down, they'll look at it and say, what are they fighting for? Every instance that you all have shown us, every time, it is always for the people. It's nothing for you. It's nothing for the other ones that are fighting, Alicia and Bernetta. It is always trying to do something for the community. And people have to see that, well, these people are fighting to try to get something done in the community. Why are these people fighting against them? If they're trying to help me, why are they fighting against them? And it just has to, people have to open their eyes. And that's not what they're doing. They're not opening their eyes. You all are being attacked from every angle there is, from the news media, at council. The council meeting the other day was just, I got mad. I wanted to come down because it was just horrible. And you ought to be able to express yourself, say what you have to say, and keep it moving. We don't need a point of order every time you open your mouth. We don't need a point of order when you're trying to relay something to the people. I guess what we have to do on the platforms that we have is to give you that voice so that you can put your message out there to the people. But that's what I got.
And as much as I don't like doing these shows, really and truly, I don't. I appreciate it. I appreciate it because it gives me an opportunity to be expressive, to get the messages out, to say to the public what they need to hear, what they need to know. One of the things someone said to me before is that they had never been as engaged and in tune to the political process prior to our arrival. And they indicated that we approach our local government in a manner in which we can dial it down and make it fit into everyday language and help people understand it. And they seem to think that if we were not here, they would not be getting the information that they're getting. So I do appreciate that part of what Maestro, you often say we ran on what we stand on, or we stand on what we ran on. And one of the things I ran on was education. And it wasn't so much educating people because they don't know what our local government is about, but education in a sense where I can now bring what happens behind closed doors to the front porch so that people can feel like and understand that they are involved, and to create and promote that citizen engagement to encourage people to take their rightful place in our local government. And one of the things I want to say in terms of what we're fighting for, Mr. Hall, first of all, I want to say it's a shame that it has to be a fight, right? Look at our council and find at first glance a lot of commonality. A lot of us look like we would probably be supporting the same things. By all accounts, everybody is Democrat. Not that party affiliation should matter when it comes to municipal government and the things that we advocate for on behalf of our citizens. But, we collectively have similar backgrounds and we represent a good cross section of the people. So why is it that we don't get along? Well, generally in politics, people don't get along because they're not fighting for the same thing. They're not on the same team. And that's what we have here. And the biggest misnomer is that we are fighting for the same thing. And I think that's where the disappointment comes in. And for those who find our advocacy and our activism problematic, essentially are the individuals who don't need what we are fighting for and individuals who don't care for other people who need what we're fighting for. And that's okay. That's okay, because at the end of the day, you can't have everyone agreeing with you. Arnie, you want to weigh in here?
You know, like I say, you know, y'all sisters, y'all stand on what y'all ran on. See, when y'all got elected, y'all were just supposed to come in and whatever they say, y'all just go with it, just sign off on it. You know, and what y'all doing, y'all waking the people up. You know, because a lot of people never understood local government. You know, until you all got there. You know, they never understood it, had no idea, and for so long, everything was just get elected, come in and whatever it is, sign off on, you know. But see, it's a new day now. It's a new day. Trust and believe. Y'all are not the problem. Y'all just didn't go along. Y'all don't go along with you know the way it's being ran and things are being done. You know, and we keep seeing everybody get except for us. Everybody get.
Right.
You know, so it can't keep it can't keep going the way it's going. You know, see, like I say, they'll make it seem like you all are the problem, especially with the media, that propaganda. I don't watch it, because it's the same thing, same old thing. Is leave it to them. It'll be just you, Leisha, and Vernetta. But for a lot of people that know, we know that's not the case. Me and brother Jamal and brother Julius, we know what time it is. So therefore, that's why we stand and we fight for y'all. We fight for y'all sisters because we know y'all are there for the people, for the people. We see how this city is, the way it's growing and expanded. Where are we in it economically? Nowhere. And they don't want us in. And like I said, me personally, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to wipe the city out. You know, all this building going on. How many people can afford for what they're charging for rent? Because most people, not most people, a lot of people, they don't make the money. They can't afford that. Not for the market rate rent that what they're charging. You know.
And
So
I
and
just
I'm
had
gonna
a
continue standing
conversation.
up.
Well, I appreciate
So go
that.
ahead.
I just had a conversation with the city manager today where we talked about the lack of affordable housing, and there were some items on our last agenda that I questioned, and there are items on that's coming up on our next agenda that I questioned, and it's consistent with the fact that we are continuously approving development projects that include housing that essentially is not affordable. So what we will find, and what I want Savannahans to hear and understand, is that in short order, there will soon be more people who live here who are not from here in Savannah than locals. And that's problematic because essentially what's happening is a lot of Savannahans, a lot of locals are actually being pushed out of the city of Savannah because they cannot afford here. Take, for example, our own local government. Many people who work for the city of Savannah can't afford to live in Savannah. And so when you have development projects we are approving where the property value is $750,000 in one of our more humble neighborhoods in Savannah, near Blackshear, you have to ask the question, what's going on? Another project, Oglethorpe Mall, they are looking at developing 25 housing units at Oglethorpe Mall that will not be affordable. There's a project that will probably be on our next agenda, Parkside, Olympic neighborhood, I did make a request for that item to be put on our agenda for next year, and that many of you will be out of town and not able to attend the meeting to allow your voices to be heard. But this development is over off of B Road behind the Salvation Army. Those units will not be affordable. And so we are continuously talking about affordable housing. And I made the comment at our last council meeting that we exhibit duplicitous behavior in our decision making, because we say one thing. For 2 years that I've been on council, we have been talking about affordable housing. We have been talking about affordable housing, but almost every other meeting, every other agenda, we are approving major development projects for housing, and the housing is not affordable. So I basically call that gaslighting the people. You say one thing, you give lip service, you talk about it, but then we do something different. We consistently give the appearance through smoke and mirrors within the city of Savannah government of doing the work and not actually doing it. With that said, I have to say that I am encouraged at the arrival of our new city manager. He has an uphill climb. He cannot solve all of the problems that we have, but what I can say, among all of the city managers, he's the fourth city manager I've had in the 2 years I've been in office. He is a good listener, and he's fair, and I think he is trying. And so I'm hopeful, but I feel like the process is just too slow. We cannot wait any longer. Dr. Toure, you want to jump in while we're on this piece a little bit?
Yes, ma'am. I'm hoping that that my connection is working fine, and I have to go and throw this out right now. Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter, I am not like you. I do not come from the same experience as you, because I did not attend a high school that was tied to a cannibal by the name of John Ribault. John Ribault High School down in Jacksonville, Florida. He is a cannibal that was right here. He ate people up here in South Carolina, but that's an early explorer that was in this area. So just throw that out there I
asked my husband to stop telling you my personal business, and I'll have a conversation with him when he gets home.
He didn't tell me that.
Something else to talk about besides
he did not tell me that. That came from some other source. So, but that's why I did. Jean Ribault.
I know. I went to school in Jacksonville, Florida. Who else knows that?
But don't worry about that, because I do what I do. That's my job. So I'm just letting you know, Jean Ribault. People in Beaufort, South Carolina, are going to tell you Jean Ribault. They may not know it, but he was a cannibal. But I'm gonna move on. Give you 2 examples of something. People know me when I do my journeys, I do my tours, and I'm down in City Market, and I say Belfast Restaurant is one of the finest restaurants in the entire United States. Not a shameless plug; it's an actual plug. That's one thing I throw out to folks. I'm gonna elaborate further on that. Then I also. And Belfast, I'm going to say, is co-owned by a brother, Kevin McPherson. I throw that out there and tell folks that. Then one day in a class when I was at Savannah State, this young lady by the name of Princess, and I said to all of them in the class, I said, y'all basically brainwash. And so Princess said to me, she said, you're trying to brainwash us too. And I looked at her like, yeah, I'm trying to give y'all the accurate information. So I am brainwashing y'all. Now, what somebody else on the outside, people who hear me say this about Kevin McPherson and Belfast Restaurant, they say, Jamal, that is duplicitous what you're saying, Jamal. You know, it might be construed as being duplicitous, Jamal. You say it is not a shameless plug, but that's why I throw it out into it. I say it's an actual plug. So then that way to basically knock out it being duplicitous. And then with Princess, when she said, I'm brainwashing them, I was like, yeah, but with accurate information. So now this is the thing that what I got when I heard about you saying someone that duplicitous behavior. Now, guess what? If someone says that I'm duplicitous, guess what? I then go and give some other elements to what I'm doing. Then now go and show folks that, yes, I said this and I did this, but now I'm showing you, yes, right here, the plug that I'm giving right now for Belfast Restaurant is an actual plug. Yes, somebody might have thought it was, and then guess what? That stops them. And so when Princess said, I'm trying to brainwash them from that negative information and give them that positive information, yes, I am doing that. Because what that it really is about empowerment. So when people go and say, and I have to say this, that it disturbs me when people go and make statements about something and it is inaccurate. And when Arnie said this, is what I tell folks too, about propaganda. We engage in propaganda and now putting out here. It is not Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter saying this. This is Jamal Toure saying this, and I have no problem saying this because now let me go and tell you who I am. I am a human rights activist. So what I'm saying is merely tied to human rights activity. So it disturbs me when African Americans will listen to a Caucasian that will go and tell them something, and then the African Americans then go and embrace that information as if that is accurate information. All that does is tell other people on the outside who are not African Americans that they are stupid, that those black folks are stupid, that whatever we tell them, they will buy into it. That's the propaganda. So that's why when I hear that, I'm like, duplicitous, that's not anything sinister. If you're not duplicitous, you can still go ahead and answer the information with truth, justice, righteousness, and the form of reciprocity. But when you are not able to do that and you try to hide behind the darkness, then that's when, again, I'm like saying no. And so African Americans, I'm saying I'm employing African Americans right now. Just because someone is Caucasian, they tell you something, you better have the wherewithal to not go check it out yourself before you respond and say anything. Because sometimes when you do say something, you might prove to other people that you are stupid, that you are ignorant, and that you can be manipulated. So when I heard that, I was like, here it is. We got leadership being manipulated. Leadership should have said something like this, like, duplicitous is not anything that causes anyone to have any ire about. If you are not duplicitous, you can speak the truth or you can clarify your point. But when you don't clarify your point, then that goes to show that there might be some ill intent. Now, let me break it down to other people out there. When we say that, all we saying, you're talking out the side of your neck. Or you talking about both sides of your neck. That's all that is.
Well, I was at a city council meeting where we're supposed to be refined and exercise certain decorum. So I use the word duplicitous.
But when you do that,
which is a big word, which is a big word of what we just said. And so, but here goes some of us.
Oh, great.
Oh, but here goes some of us. We like, ooh, she said we duplicitous. And I just gave you an example. People may go and say that about me. They said, Jamal, you really trying to promote this right here. Then I go and I clarify because I say, okay, they got a point. They might have a point. But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to I'm going to give it more to them. They might say, you like Julius Hall because Julius Hall raised you up. No, I don't like Julius Hall because he raised me up and found me in a corner at Savannah City in the dark crying because my name was Claude Lee. No. And he said, no, your name is Amir Toure. No, it's because I've seen Julius Hall do the work. No. It's not.
And the thing that I want to say to that is it was stated at council meeting. I know we're kind of talking around things, guys, but just to kind of let everybody know what you're actually making reference to. It was stated at the council meeting that my words or my language was inflammatory, in that I was accused of calling Nick Palumbo a racist, and I said that the behavior of the council's decision making was duplicitous, in that, according to the mayor, Van Johnson, was inflammatory language. And so I just sat there in the midst of the fact that we are on the precipice of alarming homicide rate. I believe we're hovering around 32. Last year, this time we were at about 29. In 2019, I believe we rounded out the year with about 23 homicides or so. And so in my mind, as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, is this really what we're doing? You know, once again, and it was really reminiscent of the behaviors that ensued with this whole ethics complaint piece. And so I get it. I got it, right? For whatever reason, I am the easy target on council. I don't know, possibly because I question everything and trust nothing, given the fact of where we are in our local government. And so I can take that. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it a waste of time? Yes. But what we want to be reminded of, Dr. Toure, is the fact that I have American status, right? And the last time I checked, this is a thing called free speech. And so this isn't my first rodeo. Right now, I'm in the battle of my life for protecting my speech. But you say something in your emails often, your tag on your emails, you end with, when truth arrives, falsehoods must perish. And so, we get it. We got it. People don't like the truth. As opposed to...
But Councilwoman, what they're so used to being led a certain way that they see you all coming and bringing the change that you all promised. Like y'all, Arnie say, y'all stand on what y'all ran on. And they see this and they think it's something foreign, which it is something foreign. People that can read and understand that something isn't right, that somebody is doing something that they shouldn't be doing. And they don't understand that what you all are doing is fighting for the people. Y'all, it ain't nothing you trying to get for yourself. I have never seen y'all in there.
I have no developer friends.
I
have no attorney friends. I have no engineer friends. I have no, and you know what? The sad part about it, anyone who is in business in the city of Savannah or who has who engage in contractual agreements, the worst thing for you to be is my friend, because you probably won't get any business. I don't want anybody in my family, my friends. I do not want to commingle the business of this community with what we have going on downtown at City Hall. I wouldn't want to be duplicitous and and advocating for transparent government, ethical practices, and then on the other side, I'm doing this, And so you're right. Everything we advocate for, everything we fight for, is for somebody else. I said that coming to City Hall was going to give me great joy to advocate for nonprofit communities, nonprofit agencies. I'm so proud that through that advocacy, Dr. Toure, you would have an appreciation for this. Via our community services dollars, every nonprofit organization this year will get exactly what they asked for. Because you know why? If our local government was in position to release $1 million in the face of rising crime, in the face of blight, poverty, in the face of our police department being down 100 officers, in the face of so many great needs that we have in our community, we don't have anything else better to do but to give $1 million to the United Way because somebody's best buddy worked there now. No, we're going to give these nonprofit organizations exactly what they asked for. And
the thing is, no one can name not one thing that the United Way has done for anybody in this city, but they can name what the EOA has done.
Well, and I want to say, in all fairness to the United Way, they are good in their right. As a former director of the of many nonprofit organizations in our city, the United Way was there to assist via grant dollars. Now, was it easy? No, we had to work for those dollars. We had to perform for those dollars. But now that I'm on this side of things and I see how the governmental structures kind of tiptoe through the tulips of the nonprofit world, this whole spirit of altruism that's presented to us via the United Way, I see it as a glorified tax shelter for the big boys. And they relish in doing something that feels good, that you can get attention for. The best good and the best deeds that we can do is to do it and nobody knows about it, right? And so for who they are and what they are, when you take the politics out of the way of it, and this has only been as of late. Back in the day when Schroeder, I can't remember his first name, when he was the director, things were a little more 7 years, there's been like a little slippery slope where the politics has entered into what United Way does. And that's very, very disappointing. And we hope that they will turn a tide soon. But what we did not want is to create a process of double dipping. The United Way is a grant-making body. Never in the history of the city of Savannah did we give an independent grant or give independent dollars outside of our employee contributions to United Way. So that just did not make sense. And so it's just a backdoor way to, continue to give position to somebody to prepare for his political campaign, in my opinion.
Out of $1 million and some dollars, out of $1 million and some dollars, how much of that they're gonna use to help the people? Because you get, me personally, because I'm sure if the EOA got $1 million, they're gonna use it all to help the people.
And they actually have the better track record, the proven track record of actually doing that kind of work. The United Way does not have a history outside of the CARES Act funding. There is no history of them providing a direct service via financial support to individuals. They are a grant-making body to nonprofit organizations who provide those services. So again, on its face, it just simply did not make sense. And there is absolutely no way to justify that, period.
And that's what you all fight for. Pastor Small said something here. We haven't had advocates that fought openly and vocally for us because they always fought in the meetings, but when they get to city council, they do something else. And Anthony Maben said, people rather take a comfortable lie than an uncomfortable truth, which is true. Mm-hmm. And it speaks volumes for what is going on in the city of Savannah.
And I want to just say, Pastor Small and Mr. Maben, those are two other guys, along with John McMasters and Chuck Fagan, who really take a stand and actively, speak up for us so that there is some equalizing of the narrative, if you will. And it's difficult to I find it more difficult to have to explain to people what's going on and why things are what they are, as opposed to how I may feel about what people are saying and what the media does or what folks and my council colleagues do to attack me. And so that part, I'm actually pretty good with that. It doesn't bother me. But the part that is painful is when even family members who know me very well, that's the real painful part, when they question our service and, they feel like we just have to act a certain way. Dr. Toure?
I want to bring up 2 points. One of the things that led us to this role with regards to what you're all doing right now with regard to these social service entities, these nonprofits, was that the previous administration, there was an issue that occurred, a crisis occurred in Savannah with regards to the budget. A perceived, again, I'm going to say propaganda about the budget. And so what occurred, you had the cultural organizations in the city of Savannah now fighting against the social service organizations in the city of Savannah. And Rob Hernandez, the former city manager, said that basically the city of Savannah should not be involved with regards to social services. When that goes against what governments are supposed to do, look out for the people with regards to health, safety, and general welfare. That's the basis. It's not the operating business. Government is not supposed to be a business. They should look at the health, the safety, and general welfare. I've shared this folks before. But Rob Hernandez now set the motion. When I told people at the city council meeting, I said he's not going to have everybody fighting against one another. So guess what? The cultural organizations came into the city council meeting, and they all lined up. And then you had the social service organizations, right? They're all lined up. They're now fighting over this budget. And that is what has gone on. And that came from out of the previous administration. And so that's what we're looking at right now today. When you all say you're trying to get back to where we used to be, again, prior to a Rob Hernandez and these other folks who were not concerned about the people. But then the other part I'm going to throw out there, now, Alderwoman Kesha Gibson-Carter, I disagree with you on some things. I have had an issue with the United Way when you and I were first dealing with the issue of homelessness in the city of Savannah. And I had shared with folks that what I have saw, what I observed, I observe, and I said to folks, and what we're looking at today is a part of this. I said that there is an old boys network and an old girls network of executive directors here in this city, in this county, and we know people are getting money. And I said they're getting the money in the dark and not doing anything for the people. So here goes small nonprofits are doing more of the work than these larger nonprofits, but they're getting all the accolades, and then some of them march out somebody annually when it's time to get funding. They're going to say, this is one of our success people right here. But here it is. This is a person that was compliant with them. The people who they really need to work on, they ignore them. And so these folks have gotten money, and guess what? They are friends today, the executive directors and the leaders of these organizations, and also the politicians. So they still give them money and they still continue. And I'm like saying, wait a minute, the people doing the work, you all ignore the people doing the work, the ones right there at the ground level, and you try to make it, you have them jump through hoops to even get a few dollars. Where here goes somebody else getting money and not even providing the services, and the people still are anguished and tied up. So I'm saying to Savannah, Georgia, Chatham County, Georgia, I need y'all to stop playing games with these people right here, because y'all play games with them, and that's why they do it, because they too think that you're stupid also. They think that you're stupid because as long as they tell you something, you go along with it. And that entities that we know for a fact who have been getting monies have not done anything for the people.
And, you know, and to that point, these organizations have been able to survive and thrive on the nickel and dimes that they have to clamor for. And it is an unfair balance. You are correct. I have to agree with you. It hasn't always been that way. No. Is it that way today? Yes. Will it get better? I just don't know, because there are so many damaged relationships in the process, and in the course of trying to do good, you find yourself throwing the baby out with the bathwater. And that's what's very disheartening. You know, they create these very, very competitive grant processes. The process of completing the application is not rocket science, but if it's to the average layperson, it's not very easy either. And then you have the grant maintenance, and you have the grant reporting, and all of that becomes very cumbersome and convoluted when you look at the bearing capacity of some of these smaller organizations you're talking about, and you compare them to the larger giant organizations who bail in comparison to the level of work that they do in their reach. And, you know, yes, Latasha Barnes is one who does a good lion's share of the work. Tia, Through It All Ministries, do a phenomenal job. And those are the unsung heroes of our nonprofit community in the city. And they get little to no support from grant making processes.
That is absolutely correct. Right.
You know, and so, you know, y'all, that which shows every day that y'all are there to help the people. They want to continue doing business as usual, just like with this calling you, what you calling what's his Palermo or Palumbo, racist or whatever, Colombo. That ain't nothing but a smoke screen. You know, because see, these people want to sit up here and do everything to us and come at y'all and practice what they practice, and then when you call them out, you know, they don't want to be. They don't. Why you calling me a racist, or why you calling me a liar? Well, that's what you are. That's what you are. They're being called out. Y'all calling them out, and continue doing what you're doing. Long as you got brothers like me, brother Jamal, and brother Julius, and the rest, you know, you keep calling them out. They don't want people didn't at one time. People didn't know nowhere near this much.
Mm-hmm.
Now people. Oh wow, this is okay. This is see, now they see that for years they've been being raped. The city been raping them. The city they've been raping people.
And you know what? That term is harsh, Maestro. But you know what? It does feel like a violation. It feels like a real violation. That's how I feel every single day on council. And like this situation, even when you continuously and consistently do something to somebody, and then you turn around and play like you are the victim when they rise up on you,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
and it's and then you want me to go about exercising decorum that's fitting of an elected official. That's like telling the child who's been molested by the uncle, you want her to come and sit to the Thanksgiving table next to him like nothing happened, and
Or a
she's been
woman staying in
crying
an
out and
abusive
crying out.
relationship.
Yes, or you
Yeah.
beat the crap out of me, and you want me to go visit your parents and just put makeup on to cover the bruises. No,
He jump on you, and then later on that night, come on, baby, let's make love. Are you serious?
right. And that's what this, and I can't shake it. I think, I don't know if it's because it's of my work, but whenever those behaviors, and I'm telling you, I told you before, Dr. Toure,
Hmm.
when you were on my show, or I can't remember who was the other guest. I thought it was you. I sense it. And it's a six, not a six, the number six. It's a sick. It's a SICK. It's a sixth sense that I have. I can feel it. I can feel the spirit of an abuser. I can feel the spirit of a rapist, of someone who beats a woman. I feel it. And it's something in me that rises up that won't let me tolerate it and won't let me take it. I sleep with a good man every single night that takes very good care of me and respects me to the highest level and degree. And there is no way I'm going to go outside of this home and allow another man who doesn't do anything for me disrespect me and not stand up and speak up for myself. I've advocated for women my entire life. My entire life's work is devoted to advocating for the voice in the body of women. What less would I not do for myself? And so
You know
I'm
what?
unapologetically here to serve in the way I see fit.
And you're serving with dignity for the people. It doesn't matter what they say. Who says I can't call you anything that you are?
Hmm.
If that's what you are, then that's what you are. I'm not saying that you called him that. I'm saying if you are a racist, then you are. If you are a man, then you are. If you are a woman, then you are. You know, people get this perception and they think that these people are doing something for them. But Dr. Claude Anderson said that it's like giving me being hungry and starving, and you giving me you rubbing my stomach with a steak
Mm,
Yeah.
and telling me that you fed me. But you
mm.
didn't feed me. You rubbed my stomach, the outside of my stomach with the steak.
I
You know,
pouring water on your head and tell you that it's raining.
yeah. You know, it's crazy that how these people are just being bamboozled in food and the media. Uh, I don't understand it because they're doing the media and big business bidding. Then the media is silent on it. They'll come and get any scandal for us, but we've given them plenty of scandals out here in Fort Whitworth. They haven't reported not one yet.
Right.
Not one.
So and that's what makes platforms like this so important, and that's why social media is quickly becoming mainstream news, and we have really shifted that dynamic here in Savannah. We are so grateful for the multiple shows you are able to engineer each week, because it truly is able to help our citizens who are plugged in and who are looking for an alternative to, you know, the television is what I call it, and to Savannah Messy News. Having a different voice, having another voice. And you know what pains me so much? You know, television in particular is a revolving door of reporters um, and photographers who come to this city to cut their teeth on journalism.
Hmm.
And it pains me when I see young people, budding professionals, get sucked into the system. And I oftentimes will pull them aside and I will say, try to be as integral as possible. I know you got to pay your rent. I know you got to pay your car note, but understand at the end of the day, nothing matters if you can't maintain your dignity and your integrity when it comes to reporting the news to this community, because What people are remiss in understanding is the fact that our local media, they have the power to make this community or to break this community with regard to how they report. And right now, I will tell you from where I'm sitting, they are breaking Savannah to the core. From not reporting on the lack of equity in our practices, our failure to incorporate policies that's going to help us undergird the worst hurt that this community has to offer, to not reporting crime. Y'all, every time there is a shooting or a homicide or an aggravated incident or occurrence in this community, we get an alert. And so over the last 3 weeks, I noticed that in the alert for the homicides and the shootings, at the end of the text message from the police chief, it would say, no media on scene, no media on scene, no media on scene. And so after the third or fourth, fifth text message, no media on scene, it caught my attention. And I was like, well, is that something that we are cultivating? Should we celebrate? Shh, the media's not reporting that we had another shooting. Like, what's that all about? Since when does the media not arrive on the scenes of homicide? Since when does the media not arrive on the scene of vehicular homicide? And so when you do not adequately report the level of crime that we have going on in this city, Savannah has more aggravated assaults than Atlanta. We have more homicide this time this year than last year. We then give people a false sense of security in the community. We then disallow citizens from holding their elected officials accountable to say, do something about this crime.
You know, another thing, Alderwoman, see, with this being this city being with tourism and the host of city, you know, so it don't want to. I guess they don't want to make it like, you know, Savannah is so bad, you know. So you know, that's just like now. People never knew, you know, that the Alderwoman, you know, all the persons get a text, anything like that. That say no media on scene. All the things that the people that are learning and finding out now, you know,
Right.
what if it wasn't for y'all, there's just so much more, and podcasts like this, you know, you know, just think if you didn't have podcasts like this, you think y'all would really have it bad with the people believing in them. Y'all just be the flat out worst. Y'all just be the flat out because they will be able to say any and everything about y'all through the mainstream media. But guess what? Through social media, right? Because even they turn to social media themselves. Even they turn to social media.
Well, it was
one for social media.
That's true, because I have actually received calls from reporters that say, well, I saw your post on Facebook. Can you call us? Like, so you follow my Facebook page? You know, you follow my Facebook page, but you won't follow me on council. You follow my Facebook page, but you won't follow what I'm questioning and what I'm challenging on council. You won't report on the fact that we are 100 police officers down, 100 police officers or more, probably closer to 120 police officers down on our force. Just last week, 5 police officers resigned. And you know what? Our police officers are not leaving because it's hard to police. Our police officers are leaving to go to smaller departments that pay less because they're not happy. Our police officers are leaving. You know, we had a situation, Dr. Toure, William Harvey,
right,
died in our police barracks on Habersham Street. We don't know how he died. We will never know. You know why? Because a piece of equipment was not utilized in the interrogation room. We probably are or was the last department in the United States I would say, of a municipality in a city of our size and magnitude who did not have advanced equipment that when the doors of the interrogation room open, the camera automatically comes on so that you are not tasking a police officer with just one more thing to do. And so because this police officer who took Mr. Harvey, God rest his soul and bless his family, who we promised we were going to get to the bottom of this and not stop, moments after leaving him in that room, because she did not turn the camera on, we do not know how Mr. Harvey died. We can only accept what was told to us. And so I've advocated and petitioned and said, that's not acceptable. You all should also know that at least five, I believe, and I will stand corrected if there's more or less, police officers lost their jobs and lost their career as a result of that. Despite them losing their jobs and losing their career for months, we never responded to that situation by adequately outfitting that interrogation room so that that did not happen again. Just this last meeting, fortunately, this city manager listened to me and we purchased the equipment that was necessary so that another officer would not find themselves in that position again. That being said, these are the type of stresses and behaviors that our officers are being subjected to. In addition, we are putting our vulnerable communities who come in contact with law enforcement, we're putting them in greater harm's way as well. So we being down 100 plus officers, guys, you tell me why the best use of one sworn officer is to stand in front of me with the body camera when I go into City Hall. The mayor has as his personal security, bodyguard, driver, and food fetcher for his lunch and breakfast, and door opener, a sworn police officer. You tell me, in a time like this, is that the best use of our city resources? And so when you see behaviors like that incorporated, I recently spoke to a retiree of the city of Savannah who worked for multiple decades, who said to me, Kesha, I watch you and I listen to you. And she said, I hear you asking the right questions, but you just don't know. There is so much more to what you uncover. You would never get to the bulk of it. And you know, that's pretty exhausting. That's pretty exhausting.
I'll throw something out there. I just say, Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter, other mayors have had police officers with them too. But I just want to go and throw that out there, you know, because I don't want to sit on this show and act like that's the only time that has happened, because, you know, I always try to be balanced and be fair. But I got to share this right here. I got to share this. Savannah Morning News and the media here has never been our friends. Some of you right now who are looking at the show right now, you're looking at the show right now, and you think that Savannah Morning News and these outlets have been your friends. Let me go and tell you what happened in the 1960s. They went and said, why will we force integration on people who did not want integration? They said, just let it happen naturally, and that the forced integration is a problem. Savannah Morning News. So I go and tell people, that's just 1960s. You all will not be able to live and travel through this city if you follow the line of Savannah Morning News, because some of y'all, just throw it out there, black folks, you all could not go into some of the squares in the city of Savannah. You could not walk through the squares in the city of Savannah. I'm not talking about 1950, 1910. I'm talking about 1960s even. You could not go into some of the squares in the city of Savannah. And the Savannah Morning News, who some of y'all buy into, was promoting that type of madness. They were telling y'all are trying to force integration on them, and they do not want it. Savannah Morning News. So why would I trust them today in the other media outlets? And so Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter got to let you know, yes, they do look at Julius Hall. They look at what you're doing. They see what you're doing on social media, and they go back into their meetings and discuss what you all are saying. And some of those reporters want to address your stories, but they don't. They don't have the power to do it. The Savannah, excuse me, there are media outlets right here who know right now, who have discussed that there's been a displacement of Black people in the city of Savannah and the destruction of Black properties in the city of Savannah. You already just said media outlets right now in the city of Savannah, but guess what? They have not done the stories. They know it, they see it, and then when Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter says something about it, or Alicia Miller Blakely or Benetta Bryant Lanier, when they say something about it, everybody try to jump on them like they saying something that's foreign. What I'm telling folks, yo, you better go talk to some of those good people in the media, and they're going to tell you, yeah, we've been having conversations about this, but we are not allowed to go push those stories. Right. So I gotta say that. I just got to throw it out there because, see, I'm not going to get caught with Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter on something because she's talking about food fetcher. I'm not a part of that.
Wow. They want to paint them. They want to paint them sisters. They want to paint them sisters as being angry. Them sisters not angry. And I'll say this, yeah. When he was an alderman, what did he do? And he's been there for 2 years and he ain't did nothing. He's the white man's black man. Well, and him and two others. Him and two others.
Well, here's what I want to say along the lines of that. We talk about a lot of race relations and race issues in our city. And the biggest disappointment for me, Dr. Toure, is to see that it's not so much. And I've stopped. I stop people every time they start talking about what the white man is doing and what the white man hasn't done. We know that racism will be alive and with us until the end of times, possibly, right? We get it. I got it. But from where I'm sitting and for what I know, this city, correct me if I'm wrong, in excess of 3 decades or more, has had African Americans in leadership positions at almost every level in this city, and sometimes in some years all at the same time. Police chief, mayor, city council members, county commissioner, commissioners, district attorney, even the fire chief was Black at one point.
Police chief.
Right? Almost every level. We have Black judges. What have we been able to achieve with all of that African American power and leadership in this community? Little to nothing. And the reason is because when we get there, we don't do what we're doing. We sell out. I truly believe,
Sister Marilyn, I call you back.
People enter the helping profession and enter politics from a place of altruism, seeking to do the right thing, to be good, to do good, to stand up and fight for the people and rah, only to, in short order, sell out to the establishment, start taking the over the table and the under table deals. They get sucked in to the madness of the media because that makes them famous. And then you find yourself on that slippery slope of just being me, mine, I, and you don't care about anybody else. And so we as a people, yes, we have to call out those things that when racial bias rears its head and things start to look like they looked when we were in segregation. But for the most part, we have to hold Black leaders accountable and stop electing people just because they're Black when they do not perform and do what they have been asked to do.
I think we need a contract.
It's not enough to just be Black and be in office.
moving forward, we need some type of contract with these people, because if they're not going to do what they campaign on, then we need to hold them accountable. There has to be something that we can do, and it's going to be some hell to pay in about 2 years, and they don't understand it, but they're going to feel it, and that's something that we're promising.
Well, like I said, Mr. Hall, what I want to do is I don't want to wait to get people to get people voted out of office. I think people deserve, because when I hear that, you know what I hear? When I hear that, I hear more homicide on the streets of Savannah. When I hear that, I see more people losing their homes.
But what can you do in the meantime? What can you do in the meantime besides advocate for them to do what they're supposed to do? If they're not going to do what they're supposed to do, they can stay there until the end of their term, and then it's up to us to help remove them. Other than that, there ain't nothing more we can do but bring the attention to the people, bring the awareness to them, and keep it moving. We can complain all day long, but as long as they have a made-up mind, ain't nothing we gonna do with them but make sure that they don't get reelected. Ain't nothing else we can do with them.
Well, we want people to recognize where we are in our community with crime. One of the things they can do is make some demands of council. And don't forget, you also have a county commission who is responsive to this city. That's where we slip at. And we That's also correct. Have state representatives. And so we have to make sure that our citizens understand how to mobilize and how to make requests of their council.
Well, that's a part of the issue and see what you're saying, Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter. I've shared this from the longest I've been doing tours in the city of Savannah, doing our journeys. And I've taken folks and I've discussed stuff about, I said that we've had Black mayors, we've had Black city councils, we've had predominantly Black city council as super majorities, we've had Black clerk of council, Black city manager, fire chief, police chief, district attorney. And I said, and with all of that, we have not created Black millionaires in this city. We've not created all of this. We've not created it. And people look at me from outside of Savannah and they look stunned. I said, what the deal is, when you feel beholden to other people, you think that they have the genius, they have the smarts, and you look up to them. You don't even see your own power. So what's going on? When you had said in the very beginning, you got involved because of education. We see the lack of education, and that's why I try to tell people it does not matter about any position or any title that a person holds, because if mentally they don't have themselves together and psychologically or their self-esteem is not together, then they feel like they are an ant and that other people are giants, when in fact they are giants and they function like they are ants.
Yes.
And the proverb I tell folks is, an elephant will not teach a mosquito, a mosquito will not teach an elephant to be an elephant. A mosquito will teach an elephant to be a mosquito. And what I have seen with regards to African Americans who are in positions of power, they are elephants who think that they're mosquitoes, where the mosquitoes now know that they've trained them to be weak. And so that's what's going on. Even in positions of power, no matter what position that they have, from a minister to an attorney, to a judge, to a politician, to a business owner, guess what? They function as if they are mosquitoes and don't understand their own power. So even collectively, what's going on? They feel minimal. They feel insignificant. They don't even feel secure in themselves. They drape and mask themselves behind the tapestry of so-called power, but don't even do anything for the people who they are part of. And they're being beholden to the other people. They're like lapdogs to other people. They are lapdogs to racism. They are lapdogs to oppression. They don't stand up at all and say, no, I'm a man, I'm a woman, and I will do what is fair and what is right for all people, but I must take care of the least and the left out. You're stealing that phrase from Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter. I now appropriate for myself, the least and the left out. So that's what the deal is. And that's sadly what we have happening to us in Savannah and in Chatham County. Here you go, people who have power, who don't even see themselves as having power. I no longer call them sleeping giants. I'm like, these are mosquitoes who are elephants.
And just to see in the incremental gains that we have achieved, Mr. Hall, Take, for example, with the football coaches, the coaches of the Little League. They were complaining a lot about one coach, Lemuel Loholt. He put out a post about the city of Savannah not giving a damn about Little League coach football and the youth. And you know what? He was absolutely correct. The behavior of our council demonstrated that we did not give a damn about Little League teams. He was so correct. I simply had a conversation with him about how they needed to mobilize, engage, and make a demand, helping them understand you are not a mosquito. You are an elephant. You have a right. And they were floored. He didn't, but a handful of the other coaches mobilized. They came together. We, via my position as a Post 1 representative, was able to ask the city manager to meet with this group.
Yep.
I served as a conduit to bring them to the table. They came with a budget, with an agenda, with a program. And guess what? Through those efforts, they now, for the first time, will get support from the city of Savannah. And so it's been through little measures like that, only since our new city manager has been in that seat, I should say. We were not able to get anything with Michael Brown or Pat Monahan. But that's what groups and organizations out there who have a need. The Nehemiah group, the Just group is a group of pastors who are concerned about affordable housing. They mobilized as a group, and they made a demand of council. Their initial efforts fell on deaf ears. They didn't give up, but they kept pushing. And I was in our new city manager's ear, and I told him about this group. We now have millions of dollars in our new budget. We passed a $479 million budget this past week. For the first time, this budget is filled with flesh and blood projects and opportunities for our community, and less brick and mortar. And so we are excited about that.
The only difference is, Alderwoman, is that was proactive instead of reactive. And what I mean is that there was no attention being brought to the Little League teams. Nobody was caring about it. So it wasn't on the agenda. You all brought it up and made them aware of it. But when you're reactive, they've already got a plan and a made-up mind.
Right.
They already got a made-up mind on the things that they're going to do, like the weeping time. They weren't going to budge on that. We had more people than the Little League coaches.
Well, that's true. You raise a very valid point.
Well,
these people, only thing that you could do to them is remove them.
But we had a different city manager also. There was a different city manager, and this city manager is a bit more responsive. And so I'll share this with you all Saturday, what happened with the rally that was done, the in-violence rally that was done by Hollis Mitchell. At the end, the Little League coalition got up there and they spoke about it. They said, we now have funding and we just want people to contact us. They said, we have gotten funding, and they acknowledged that it was done based on the work of those councilwomen, those heroes, that they were the ones that made that happen, push it through, along with the city managers. So that's why I'm saying, so even with the former city managers, they were not in tune and were not sensitive. But now with this city manager, and I'm saying coupled with council members who are being advocates, that works. It helps us out. We still got a long way to go. But again, that's why I say even the Weeping Time property situation, I think that we had Jay Melder in at that time, it might be a little different. But then again, I think that, again, people who are in positions of power had the opportunity to do something about it and refuse to do it because, again, they are, as I said, they are mosquito. They are elephants acting like mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
True.
For sure.
So true.
Well, we want to jump to a lighter topic. You guys have done some heavy lifting, and this is truly.
We're gonna talk about the cannibal. We're gonna talk about the cannibal. We're gonna talk about the cannibal. The cannibal, Jean Ribault.
Bam. Come here, please.
He had nothing to do with this.
I thought she was a blue jacket.
Oh,
I thought she was a blue
I
jacket.
am a blue jacket. I am a blue jacket.
but
I
So-
left
she went to
so
a
Jacksonville
what
just
you a-
before. I left Jacksonville
So
just
you
before I
a
started
bee
high
or you a
school. I don't know
cannibal?
what he's talking about.
she's a cannibal, brother Arnie. Brother Arnie, you know, me and you.
Okay, so she's
a cannibal.
she's not a bee.
But she's a
Listen.
partial bee and a cannibal too. Jean Ribault.
I want to introduce y'all to my other.
Oh,
Show it in the camera.
oh, my bad.
Yo, Coach Carter in the house. Coach Carter.
This is. I wanna give a shout out. I gave a shout out to a lot of good men tonight,
Oh,
and I want to just let you know that you are the best man.
oh,
You are the best man, the man among all men. Don't stop all that. Listen, we appreciate everything you guys do, and we are so excited to have Dr. Toure, along with my husband, helping us promote Kwanzaa this year.
Yes, sir.
We're really, really excited. We're really, really excited, and I just want to give the rundown real quick. Dr. Toure, we have Kwanzaa 2021-22 starting on the night of December 26th. We will be at Odyssey 2.0 on Fairmont. And we will be celebrating the first principle of Kwanzaa, Umoja, with Dr. Toure. And I'm so happy we have a lineup of good presenters and speakers, historians who are helping us. The second night is Kuja Chakalia, and we will be joined by Lillian Baptiste at Two Chefs on MLK. On Tuesday, December 28th, we have the night of Ujima, and that's with Christine Davis. It's the professor at Savannah State University, and we'll be at Cool Vibes. And then on Wednesday, December 29th, we have Ujima with Johnny Brown at 520 on Abercorn. Thursday, December 30th, we have the principal of NIA with Bonnet Gould at Liquid Cafe. Friday, December 31st, Kuumba with Faith Apia. Did I say her last name right?
Yes.
At Creole Kitchen on Victory Drive. And we have Saturday, January 1st, Imani, the principal of Imani, with Pat Gunn at Unforgettable Bakery. Listen, guys, we have a full lineup. We're so excited. We are just going to come together in the spirit of Ebony, and all that we are as our beautiful selves. You know, this event was birthed out of my concern for the increasing number of homicides in our community in 2020. As we were rounding out the year, my spirit was really grieved, and we wanted to do something to help young people know how rich our culture is and how much our ancestors went through. And if they only knew the kings and queens of which they were birthed and came from, they would find no reason at all to take each other out in the world of all that we have to do, you know? And so in tandem to that, we incorporated an economic piece by supporting locally owned African-American restaurants who really suffered during the pandemic. But more to the point that $1.2 million was released to our local SBA. And of the 50 grants they gave, up to $50,000, only 2 were African-American. And I was moved by that as well. And so lots of injustices and the lack of equity that goes on in our community. But this was just one way for us to respond to some of the violence that was going on in our community and do something that felt good and to encourage and inspire the people while generating increased revenue for our local businesses as well. There are nearly 600 restaurants in this city, and fewer than 3% of them are owned by African Americans. But you will find African Americans in almost every one of those kitchens, from head chef to dishwasher. And so we want to promote and encourage more African American ownership as well. Listen, Dr. Tanya Howard Hall, school board representative extraordinaire,
Hostess extraordinaire.
yes, queen of crab stew. Thank you for joining us as well. We're so. I feel like we're Hollywood Squares a couple. What's that?
He told me talking about do what Sam just did. Make it.
Listen, that's old chap. Yes.
I didn't know that was old chap. How are you, old chap?
I told you we just used to sit hearing your voice and not seeing your face. Dr. Hall, I think a good show for you would be to do like a couple's newlywed game show.
Yeah, the newlywed game.
Do a game show.
That's a good idea. We got 24 shows lined up before February. I promise they're coming. We got a new show starting tomorrow. It'll bleed into 1 hour shows for 30 minutes, but still, it's a new show tomorrow with Von Jackson at 7 o'clock tomorrow from 7 to 8.
7 to 8.
7 to 8.
What about By Us For Us? When does that come?
They come on 7:30, 8 o'clock, sometime 8:30.
I'm gonna tell Alicia. Hey,
Brother, all right, Brother Julius.
Big
All right,
Brother
Brother
Julius. I got to feel the spot. Ain't no
all right, Brother Julius.
And because at 6 o'clock starting in January is going to be Gullah Geechee Times coming on before By Us For Us. That's what we base it on. By Us For Us. That's what we doing. So yeah,
Gullah Geechee
time
on what day?
On Tuesday. That's what we said. We, Mr. Producer, we had said that. You've been a part of communication.
On Tuesdays?
Yes, on Tuesday. We said Tuesday. Once a month.
Tuesdays you have Ferrante Fraser with Natural as F. At 6
what
o'clock.
Time?
6 o'clock every Tuesday for the last year.
See, you ain't said that when we were discussing that.
You should know the schedule.
You had said that. We said once about see, we're going to another station. We're going to another station. Gullah Geechee Time going to another station. Well, we doing. We're going to another station.
I'm sure that Ferrante wouldn't mind giving up 1 week out of the month.
All right, this is what we're going to do to the listening audience. ATR, we're going to go on, check out Gullah Geechee Time. That we'll be doing. I'll go to another network and do that because again, that's a separate contract. That's why I'll go and do that. Let y'all know.
Oh, I want to say, Brother Jamal, I like that with you and Queen Quet.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be Queen Quet, myself, Brother Josiah Watts, Sister Glenda, occasionally, and then again we're gonna be talking about our issues. Because see, in Savannah, what we said we realize in Savannah, y'all think y'all different from everybody else, and so y'all better learn. Y'all issues the same. What happened in Clearview? That's the same issue happening across this entire area. So when y'all in Savannah realize that y'all issues are the same like all of us, then y'all be strong about not getting the people out of South Carolina, out of Florida, and out of other parts of coastal Georgia. Because y'all think the Clearview thing is a different. Y'all think that's something unique to y'all. Y'all think what happened at Bethel AME is something unique to y'all. Y'all don't realize that is the whole issue throughout this entire area. So that's
Brother Jamal.
Yes, sir.
Brother Jamal, you know, Brother Tariq Nasheed, you know, he's talking about the Gullah Geechee in the next documentary. He was here in Savannah a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he ain't contact us.
Well, I think he spoke with Queen Quet and he talked with Pat.
Listen.
I ain't gonna say nothing. You talk privately.
Listen,
Okay.
Just talk to when the show go off, we get to talk. I'll go and put it out there. Cause because like I just told some of y'all be around here supporting certain people and go and look at what them people really do. So y'all because what is my job as the jailer? My job as the jailer is go back, let y'all African tradition. We know the wonderful things and we know the not so wonderful things, but generally the jailer gonna give y'all the wonderful things. And so that's why now when y'all gonna call people out, I say call everybody out. Don't just call one person out.
Listen,
y'all got.
You know what? And that's the challenge. That's the challenge that we have. But for me, Dr. Toure, I'm in a space, in a place where I don't feel like I have to have any balance in that regard, because I just don't have the energy and the patience for anything that is not consistent with being above board, being helpful, and just dealing in the real. I can't tolerate anything else. I can't tiptoe through the tulips and play around with people these days. I'm getting too old for that again.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
listen, I just want to say thanks to the folks who joined us tonight. We appreciate you for sticking around and sticking with us. Keep your eye on City Hall. Again, we passed a $479 million budget. We're excited about it. I'm still looking for the line items so that I can go over with you all how this is going to impact your various communities. We want to also make an announcement for ourfreshcommunities.com. Ourfreshcommunities.com is an Affordable Care Act insurance program that is traveling around the country right now. They were here on a Fort Valley State agriculture bus today at the May Street Y. Reverend Tillman is asking for groups and organizations who are interested in organizing an event to get people signed on before January 15th to contact him, First African Baptist Church Pastor Reverend Tillman. And you can go now to ourfreshcommunities.com to sign up individually for affordable health care if you are in need of it. So we have John McMaster's with us tonight, Rebecca Rose, Ronique, Ramona, one of our faithfuls, Mr. Coward Clinton. I hope you're doing well, sir. Bernard Brown. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We appreciate you, and we look to see you all. And I also saw Miss Pastor Small and Miss Betty Jones and Cecilia Cook and a whole bunch of our friends, Donnie Black. Listen, we appreciate you guys. You want to tell people, I was telling these guys, thank them for standing up.
John Ribolt.
When you're not around. But do you have this? You got it?
I got it. Thank you.
John Ribolt, the cannibal. John Ribolt. John Ribolt.
Did you tell him?
I didn't tell him that, but
I told you that. That's my job as a JLA. That's what I'm saying. John Ribolt, the cannibal.
How do you know this?
Only at Savannah High. I mean, the secrets come out. And then at Jenkins, they got a bunch of crazy people over there because you see how he keeps.
What about that Woodville Tompkins ring I saw earlier?
Wolverines, we have decorum intact.
We did a groundbreaking at the
Hudson Hill
Grant Center, and Miss Grant, Hall of Famer. She was, oh my goodness, Eugene Grant's sister, big, very, very good basketball player. Awesome woman. I think she looked like she still got game too. Listen, they are putting a $4 million gym on the property, $4.2 million over in on the west side.
West Savannah.
To me, the space isn't big enough, but once again, when it comes to these Black and brown communities with these projects that I've seen, it's like you just give people what they can get, or give them.
They want us all closed in.
Yeah, so it's it's discouraging. It's like a bittersweet situation. You take it, but then you look at it and you just like, really. But you know what? The residents in the area have waited a long time. A lot of the neighborhood association members worked really hard to get to this point, and we're just hopeful that it all works out. But I don't know that it's going to take $4.2 million for that little tiny space, but we'll take it, and we'll keep our eyes on it in the interim.
Well, you need to have another show with Pastor Smalls and John McMaster's, Chuck, all the people that you called out tonight, so that we can show that we are a unit, going to be marching forward together. One last note before I go. I want everybody out there to say prayers for. We had a real terrible accident in front of my subdivision out here tonight, and it was 4 babies and a pregnant woman, and it don't look real good. It doesn't
Oh,
look real
God.
good. And
Oh,
so
wow.
we
I was on the phone with you when you saw that accident.
right, exactly. And I went up to it. I didn't see it, but I heard it while I was sitting at my computer, and that's almost a mile away.
Oh, wow.
That's how I heard it. I said, "What in the world is that?" So I went out to see what it was, and then when I saw the car, I had to make sure it wasn't my people, and then I realized it was a pregnant lady with 4 kids in the car, and
Jesus.
it's real bad. It's real bad.
A left turn.
She
Bless
was making a
God.
left turn into the subdivision, and a truck coming from Effingham.
A truck,
A truck hit the car with 4 kids in it.
not the big trucks.
No, just a big 150 XF-150 T-bone.
Oh, well, we will say a prayer for them for sure.
Yeah, say prayers, people. Keep them in your prayers. Yeah.
Well, listen, we will do that, and you all be careful, stay blessed, and we'll see you somewhere around town, somewhere around Savannah. Pastor Small is announcing press conference tomorrow at 9:00 at City Hall, and I
What is the
believe
press
this is
conference
probably about the weeping time. We're still in the fight. They're still in the fight. We're so grateful for the Weeping Time Coalition. They are still meeting weekly, and they are working real hard and not giving up to preserve that land. So, City Hall in the morning at 9:00, press conference. And thank you, Pastor. I don't know if First Lady Small is going to let him out. He may be at the the press conference virtually because he's on a short leash these days, and rightfully so. So we hope to see him, but I'm sure you all will be out there. Listen.
Bernard wanted to know when you're gonna let him on the show, but Bernard, you're not coming on this show because Jamal has you banned.
Does my show have to be rated for Bernard to come on? Tell him my show is rated G. My show is rated G for granola.
He froze. He just played.
Rebecca says send him a spacesuit.
You fooled my wife. She thought you were froze for real. Okay.
Listen.
Bernard, I don't know what he talking about, Bernard. I don't know what he talking about, brother.
Anyway.
Listen, guys, thank you for always bringing a smile to my face. And really and truly, on those tough days and tough evenings, I can always depend on a call or a pick me up from you all. We really appreciate you. And Dr. Toure, I want to send a special thank you to you for helping me coordinate this Kwanzaa program. And I think we finally got it straight. So we're going to be releasing the full lineup this week via social media, and you all look for it to come.
Yeah, make a flyer or have Jay make a flyer or something, a good one, so we can post it on all the shows, and we can do everything. I'm going to put the lineup of our shows and our prospective shows for 2022 also. Let's do that. Look at Jamal looking frozen.
No, I'm gonna say, hey, y'all, Arnie, Julius, ask Alderwoman Kesha Gibson Carter about her Kwanzaa gift. She got a Kwanzaa gift already. Ask her about her gift. Ask her about her gift. Ask her.
I think I put it.
Oh, you are, brother Jamal. You all right? You know that. You can tell you what the Jenkins.
He is a warrior.
Jamal got 2 gifts.
Hey, brother Julius, what time we say we get started?
I think he'll be good.
Huh?
What time we said we get started on Tuesday?
7:45, 7:50.
Boy, y'all all right. Y'all hard, but y'all all right though.
Dr. Toure, I just want
this one here ain't never on time either. You see what time she came in tonight? Her show starts 7:30. She got 7:35.
I can't be good at everything.
Yeah.
I gotta have some flaws.
And you about to talk about your Kwanzaa gift? Go ahead. Let the people know. Tell the people. I'm gonna hear you.
Dr.
Woo!
Toure, you
Hey,
know, we tonight we spoke a lot
y'all,
against.
y'all ain't hit Hootie Hoo with the shoe, did you?
I'm not going there, Maestro. Listen, Dr. Toure, you talk a lot about you talk a lot about this, Ms. Walker. You talk a lot about dismantling propaganda and breaking down falsehoods when the truth arises, and the duplicitous nature of your rhetoric does not match your behavior when you are consistently pushing this narrative of supporting warrior nation, and I just don't get that. Listen, y'all, good night. I don't have time for this tonight.
Her Kwanzaa gift was a Jenkins Warrior t-shirt. She got her Kwanzaa gift already. They expect to see you with your Kwanzaa gift on. And where's Casey at?
That.
Tell Casey,
No.
tell Casey I sent my greeting.
No.
I sent my
No.
greeting.
Listen, we want to see everyone out the night of Kwanzaa, every night of Kwanzaa, if you can. Give me 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights. If you can't make all 7, and Kwanzaa, listen, Kwanzaa is
also
not synonymous with separatism. Just like we all celebrate Cinco de Mayo, we all celebrate St. Patrick's Day, we want everybody to come out and enjoy and embrace the African American culture. And it's just a festive, feel-good, inspiring, end of the year cultural heritage event holiday that we're going to celebrate and love on each other. And we want to invite all of Savannah to be a part of it and support these Black businesses. So listen, with that, y'all, I'm going to bid you farewell and thank you for your time and your commitment to community. And we are looking forward to living to fight another day. Good night, Savannah. We love you.
Good night. Share, share, share.
Thank you.